Today on Public Eye News, COVID-19 hospitalizations reach a record high in Michigan. And the latest on the Omicron variant just up ahead.
And later, Brendan Ford will have your weather and Michael Cudahy will have your sports update. Hi, I'm Justin Vantoff.
And I'm Ross Rain. Welcome to Public Eye News. Today, Michigan's number of hospitalized adults with COVID-19 reached a new high, nearing 4,200 people. The new total surpassed the previous record of 4,158 people, which was set 7 months ago when fewer residents were vaccinated. Now, more than 1/5 of COVID patients in Michigan in hospitals are in intensive care. As the state continues to face a fourth surge of the virus, state officials continue to urge people to get vaccinated and to wear masks indoors. As COVID continues to ravage the state with new highs, thousands of families who received federal funding from the pandemic unemployment assistance are now being told they have to pay that money back. This is due to multiple errors on behalf of the Michigan Unemployment Insurance Agency, who used the wrong criteria when telling people they were eligible to receive payments. Now, Gazendelf, Director of Communications, says the agency is also working with an information technology system that is almost 10 years old. While the agency is looking into the problems, families still have to face paying back the money that has already been spent on months of household bills. And in the suburban Dearborn, Detroit office of Michigan U.S. Representative Debbie Dingell was broken into and ransacked, with memorabilia of her late husband being destroyed and damaged. Dingell reported the break-in on Monday and said it was being investigated by local and U.S. Capitol Police. While no one was hurt, Dingell has called for the violence and threats from months against her staff and herself to be stopping.
And in breaking news, authorities say a 15-year-old sophomore opened fire at his Michigan's high school today, killing 3 students and wounding 6 other people, including a teacher. Oakland County Undersheriff Mike McCabe said at a news conference that he did not know that the assailants' motives were for the attack Tuesday afternoon at Oxford High School in Oxford Township, a community of about 22,000 people, roughly 30 miles north of Detroit. Authorities arrested the suspect at the high school and recovered a handgun. They didn't immediately release the names of the suspects or victims. And as hospitals in Wisconsin struggle to find enough staff, there are veterans with medical training who could potentially help. A bill recently introduced in the state legislature would allow recent vets to provide limited health care without a license under supervision of a physician, physician assistant, podiatrist, registered professional nurse, or advanced practice nurse. The bipartisan bill, sponsored by State Senator Andrew Jack of Green Bay, comes as hospital staff face pandemic fatigue, retirements, and an increase in patients, while the Midwest sees a rise in COVID-19 infections. In Wisconsin, as of Monday, there are 1,432 patients hospitalized with COVID-19, a level not seen since mid-December of last year. Prosecutors added a 6th intentional homicide count Monday against a Wisconsin man accused of driving his SUV through a Christmas parade in suburban outside of Milwaukee. Investigators allege Darrell Brooks Jr., 39, turned into the parade route in Waukesha on November 21st and swerved the vehicle side to side without slowing down as he struck dozens of people. Authorities announced later that night that 5 people had died. Police arrested Brooks shortly afterwards as he knocked on a homeowner's door asking for help calling a ride. Waukesha County District Attorney Susan Opper filed 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide against Brooks on November 23rd for victims ranging in age from 52 to 81. And don't touch that dial, because after this break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Roizen.
And I'm Dr. Michael Krupane.
What if we told you that when you eat is just as important as what you eat?
Join us as we reveal the 10 steps you need to implement to eat the right way and take full advantage of the benefits of intermittent fasting.
We'll help you live longer and stronger on what to eat when.
Tonight at 9:30 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back. Earlier today, officials in New York City announced that the first government-sanctioned supervised drug injection sites have begun offering services to those with addiction problems. The new program is part of the city's new harm reduction strategy, which is designed to reduce an unprecedented surge of overdose deaths, as it was found that more than 2,000 people in New York City had died from fatal overdoses in 2020. A A study conducted by the New York City Health Department found the program could save up to 130 lives a year. And the FDA and other experts weighed the benefits and risks of Merck's new COVID-19 pill earlier today. If authorized, the pill would be the first way that patients could take their own symptoms and speed up their own recovery by themselves. With the continuing threat of the virus still impacting the U.S., the FDA has widely been expected to approve the emergency use of Merck's new pill, much like the UK has. And the CDC has expanded its vaccine guideline to recommend all U.S. adults get a booster shot, as concern over a new coronavirus variant known as Omicron grows. Officials say it will take a few more weeks before we know the current vaccine can protect against it. Natalie Regin reports from New York City, where officials have already begun preparing.
As concern grows over the new Omicron variant of the coronavirus, the CDC issued new guidance saying everyone ages 18 and older should get a booster 6 months after their initial Pfizer or Moderna series or 2 months after J&J.
This variant is a cause for concern, not a cause for panic.
President Biden warned Monday that Omicron will reach the U.S. The strain has been confirmed in at least 19 countries and territories since it was first reported in South Africa last week.
People don't realize we're more susceptible today in this country as a whole because of the number of people who are now 6, 7, or 8 months out who have not gotten their boosters.
The CEO of vaccine maker Moderna reportedly said the existing vaccines will be much less effective against Omicron, telling the Financial Times, quote, "All the scientists I've talked to are like, this is not going to be good." On CBS Mornings, NIH Director Dr. Francis Collins urged patience while we wait for answers.
The big question for most of us is, do the vaccines that have been put into a lot of people's arms, including mine, do they provide protection against this variant the way they have with Alpha and Beta and Gamma and Delta? And we won't know that for another couple of weeks.
State and local officials aren't taking any chances. Here in New York City, the mayor is advising everyone return to wearing a mask indoors.
We're telling you, get those masks back on now.
As an FDA panel meets to discuss emergency use authorization for Merck's antiviral pill, the company said it believes the drug will have similar effects against any coronavirus variant. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Welcome back. A new report from Australia has found that 1 in 3 people working for parliamentary offices in the country has been sexually harassed, detailing a widely concerning culture of abuse in Australia's highest governmental offices. The 456-page report commissioned by Australia's government included interviews and surveys with more than 1,000 participants who are currently and former employees in Parliament. Titled Set the Standard, the report showed that women experienced a higher rate of sexual harassment, bullying, and sexual assault than men. 40% of women experienced sexual harassment there compared to 26% of men. More people who identify as LGBTQ+ experienced harassment compared with than those who identified as heterosexuals, 53% compared to 31%. And the trial of Galaine Maxwell continues today. She's accused of recruiting and grooming underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein to abuse. CBS's News' Laura Podesta reports on day 1 of arguments and what lies ahead.
At the start of Galaine Maxwell's sex trafficking trial, prosecutors painted the 59-year-old as a sexual predator who helped groom teenage girls for Jeffrey Epstein's benefit. In the indictment, she's accused of befriending alleged victims, taking them to the movies or shopping, and her presence during minor victims' interactions with Epstein helped put the victims at ease because an adult woman was present.
Maxwell was among Epstein's closest associates and helped him exploit girls who were as young as 14 years old. In some cases, Maxwell participated in the abuse herself.
The defense insists Maxwell is a scapegoat for the crimes Epstein committed. They also described 4 accusers set to testify as having shaken the money tree and received millions from the Victims' Compensation Fund, set up by Epstein's estate after his 2019 suicide in a Manhattan federal jail. Defense lawyers have repeatedly filed motions citing Maxwell's experience with poor jail conditions and unfair treatment.
I've never seen anything like it. She's being treated horribly because of the negligence and what happened to Jeffrey Epstein.
The British socialite has already spent 17 months behind bars. If convicted of the most serious of the charges, sexual trafficking of minors, she could spend the rest of her life in prison.
Tune, because after this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports.
And that's the thing about life, you know. How can it be? It's 50 years ago. Seems like yesterday now that I'm talking about it. I see their faces. Everybody I'm talking about appears to me. Yeah.
Thursday afternoon at 2 on WNMU-TV.
Hello and welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Brendan Ford and I will have your weather update for the day. If you look behind me at the NMU campus, it has some snow on the ground, but you can kind of see the sun peeking out through the clouds. Let's get into our current conditions today here in Marquette. It is mostly cloudy with a temperature of 37 degrees, winds heading out of the southeast at 20 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 29.90 inches and rising. Let's go ahead and look into tonight. It will be partly cloudy. You can just barely see the moon with a low of 26 degrees and winds heading out of the west-southwest at 11 miles per hour. And looking at tomorrow, the cloud will cover the entirety of the sky with a high of 38 degrees, winds heading out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and look all over the UP. Starting over in Sault Ste. Marie, it will be 38 degrees and there will be snow coming out of the skies. In Manistee, some snow as well with a temperature of 36 degrees. Moving on to Escanaba, it will be 36 degrees and cloudy. Let's go ahead and look over at Menominee down here. It will be 36 degrees and cloudy as well, and there will be some sun showing over in Iron Mountain with a temperature of 35 degrees, mostly cloudy. Clouds will be covering up the sky in Ironwood with the temperature of 31 degrees, and over in Houghton, 38 degrees, mostly cloudy, my apologies. And in here in beautiful Marquette, 37 degrees, mostly cloudy. Let's go ahead and get into your future weather. Here in Marquette on Thursday, it'll be a high of 40 degrees with a low of 26 degrees, and we'll be able to see the sun, mostly cloudy. On Friday, a high of 34 degrees, a low of 26, cloudy, and on Saturday, the temperature will continue to drop with a high of 30 degrees, a low of 23 degrees, and cloudy. Let's go ahead and get into your sports update with Michael Cudahy.
Hi there. In some darker news in the sports world, Frank Williams, founder of the Williams Racing Team, passed away a few days ago at the age of 79. Williams Racing was founded in 1977 and went on to become one of the most successful teams in the sport with 9 Constructors' Championships and 7 Drivers' Championships to their name. In 1986, Frank Williams was in a car accident that left him with tetraplegia, and he was even knighted by Queen Elizabeth in 1999. Frank gave the job of day-to-day operations to his daughter in 2013. To the Williams family and racing team, we're sorry for your loss, and we wish you luck in the final 2 races of the season. And there aren't many better jobs in college sports than that of the head football coach of Notre Dame. But Brian Kelly left for swampier pastures as he will be the new head coach at LSU. LSU and Kelly agreed to a 10-year, $95 million contract, making Kelly one of the most expensive coaches in the sport. All of LSU's previous 3 head coaches have won national championships, and that will be the expectation for Brian Kelly right away. And with the transfer portal in full effect, we're starting to see some bigger names appear in the portal. Spencer Rattler is the biggest name as the former Heisman frontrunner and potential #1 pick will now look for a new home to repair his reputation. Dylan Gabriel is looking to move on from the University of Central Florida, with early speculation believing that Gabriel will land at Ole Miss as they will look for a bridge quarterback, as Matt Corral is likely to be the top quarterback in this coming draft class. And former 5-star running back Zach Evans is looking for a new team as he will likely leave TCU, with some believing that he could go back to Houston. And that is all the time we have for you today. My name is Michael Cudahy.
And I'm Justin Van Hoff, and this is Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.